All right, great. So the first thing I'm going to show you tonight is a little bit about some drawing tricks to make shapes easier to create faster. So we'll talk first about the semicircle. We'll do the semicircle, and I'll do a gray fill and no outline. And the first thing is I will create a circle. Holding down the Shift key while I'm drawing out the circle will constrain it. If I let go of the Shift key, it might be more of an ellipse or oval, but with the Shift key, press down, I lift up off of the mouse button and then off the key, and it will constrain this to a circle. The next thing is under Window, there is a palette or panel called Pathfinder. The Pathfinder palette has some functions on it that allow you to turn shapes into other shapes. So with my semicircle in place, I'm also going to go to View and Show Rulers. And now I can come up to the horizontal or top ruler and drag down a ruler guide. And you can see also, as soon as this ruler guide, Smart Guide, touches the center point of my circle, it tells me center, and I'm clicking away, so nothing is selected. Then I'm going to go back to the shape tools, choose the rectangle, and I will create a black fill here with no stroke and draw a rectangle that covers half of the circle. Switch to the regular selection tool. Here the rectangle is selected, and again the modifier key, Shift key, in this case placing my cursor over the top of the circle, holding the Shift key down and clicking, and now I have both of these shapes selected. Now if I come over here to the Pathfinder, on the top I have the shape modes and on the bottom I have the Pathfinders. Some of these things are distinctly different and some of them are a little bit more difficult to tell what is actually different between these. But for now, let's focus on the Pathfinders because they're simple, and then in another demo I'll show you about the shape modes and why there are sets of things that seem the same and what's really not the same. But for now, these will work fine. So there's a few different tools here. This one is, you should be getting a little mouse over here. This is outline. This is very slow here. Crop, and this should be minus front. Say minus front. Merge, I'm lying. This one is intersect, is it not? I'm not getting my tooltips. I don't know, maybe ScreenFlow is making it hard for my tooltips. So as long as I use any of these without pressing the Option key, they act like a Pathfinder. And this, I believe that this is the one I want. This should be minus front. And when I click on it, indeed, it cuts. Using the rectangle, it subtracted the front from the back shape. So it's the second one in from the top, and that's called the Pathfinder or shape mode of minus front. And then to reflect, I'll undo that and do it over again. Okay. So this tool, this minus front thing is really helpful. So I'll hold the Shift key down and select both, so both shapes are selected. And then if I mouse over this, minus front, okay? So that's really all that's left here. There's nothing else left here. There's not like some other hidden thing. That's it. This is the shape. So how this can be really helpful is, let's say I take another couple of circles, one, and then here I'll make another one on top. I generally like to change the color of one of these so I can see the play between them. The ending color is really not as important as being able to just see what the interaction between these two do. And you can see that the top sort of reddish brown shape overlapping that gray shape creates like a crescent moon. And then again, I'll hold the Shift key down, select, so they're both selected, and minus front. So drawing this shape could be really difficult otherwise, to get it so perfect like that. So minus front is one super helpful one. And the other one I think is really great, is also simple. It's called merge or unite. And in here what I'm going to do is a kind of a classic looking cloud. So I have a larger circle, a medium circle, and a small circle. And then here on the other side, I'll select these two shapes, and on the other side of the large circle, go to Reflect Tool, and I'll click and then hold the Option and the Shift key to reflect symmetrically these other two shapes. So now I have this kind of caterpillar looking blob thing, which is really 5 shapes. However, this tool here, this one, which doesn't look like it should be merging, it's the third one in on the bottom row, third one in from the left. This one is called merge, and what this does is actually makes this into one shape. So now that's merged into one cloud-like blob. And then I'll switch up again back to the rectangle tool, and I'll create a rectangle that crosses over the bottom and change the color just so I can see the relationship between the cutting form and the original form. Select them both, and again here is minus front. So you get this kind of cloud looking thing. At which point you could stretch it, or to make it less symmetrical, you could click and drag over half of the points with the direct selection tool, kind of make it a little more wonky, and then round this out a little more here with the handles. So there's a semicircle, there's a cloud thing. Remember again the smooth tool here, pencil. And so it can become less defined. Just a thought, okay? All right, so those are the Pathfinders. The main two that I use most, which are the merge and the minus front. Just pop that up there, give it a lighter gray, just for fun. And we'll just stick that over there. Okay, so that's the first tutorial, and I'll save that one. And